Dear learners, I'm glad to share a new series of videos on very vital aspect of our life, that is children. We have dedicated a book to this aspect titled Planets and Children. So let's begin with the presentation on this book, highlighting the concepts covered in this title. This book is a study of predictive techniques for interpreting all aspects of life of the child, right from timing of birth to care of the newborn to its impact on family and birth of younger siblings, education of the child, identifying the talent like sports, or in which field the child should be uh, motivated. And it contains all the case studies covering all areas, containing the advanced analytical predictive techniques. Let's see. First of all, there is a concept like some people or some astrologers believe that the horoscope of a child should not be analyzed before the age of 8 or 12 years. They say that before that, the karma of parents gives a result, and parents' chart should be studied to analyze the child's development. But in our experience, it's not true. It's a myth. As we come across health problems even at birth time, like a newborn is having a congenital defect, or he is having jaundice or a other life-threatening illness right at birth. So what is the reason for that? He hasn't done any karma since he is born. He's just an infant or a few days old child or a few months old child. He has not done any abuse on his or her food habits or any karma which is a negative. So astrology relates to it on the basis of deeds of the past life. So it's a karma theory, and the native is born on the basis of accumulated deeds of the past life, which are analyzed through his horoscope and not the horoscope of parents. So we must and we should analyze the horoscope of the newborn right at the birth, which highlights what are the shortcomings, what are the afflictions right at birth. We can gauge the level of problems like he's likely to encounter. That may be something very serious within first year of life or such things, or his development is going to be okay or not. His growth, in his growth years, he grows well. His milestones, birth milestones are uh, achieved at right point of time. So this horoscopic analysis right at birth is as important as vaccination. Like we get our child vaccinated for various diseases, which is important, which is very important to safeguard his or her health. So similarly, planetary afflictions are also potential diseases or potential problems in life. So if we identify those right at birth and do something about those right there, then and there, then the problems are likely to be modified, and he or she is likely to encounter fewer problems in life. Let's see how we identify various aspects or which aspect of life is identified by which planet, or how do we move ahead while analyzing his chart. So for identifying any aspect, future of any aspect, say for example profession or status or wealth or family, because we are concerned when child is born the his or her impact on the family. He or she brings with his life the good or bad for the family. How do we analyze that? We analyze the house of family, house of fortune, So the planetary influences on the house ruling that area of life. For example, status, wealth, family are ruled by the second house. So we see what planets are placed in the second house, or which planet is aspecting the second house, whether it is functional malefic or a functional benefic. So we can gauge the how that aspect impacts the family, whether it is positive or negative, or some remedies to be done. That is denoted by the nature of planet. Then we see, like for second house, we see the aspects, then we see which sign is placed in the second house. If it is a Multrikona sign, then we identify the strength of that, the lord of that sign. Suppose child is born in a Cancer rising, so Leo would be placed in the second house. So Sun will become the ruler of second house. So we have to see the strength of Sun as well in identifying the strength of that house. In addition to the aspects on that house, we will see the strength of the lord of that house. And if suppose it can happen that there is no Multrikona sign in the second house. Say for example, Aries rising people. Second house is Taurus is there in the placed in the second house. So Taurus is not a Multrikona sign of Venus. So how we identify the planet which will be significator for that? That is given in detail in chapter 19 of this book. So you can make out, when there is no Multrikona sign rising in a particular house, which other planet or house takes that place, and the serial order for various significations is given. Then we see the significator planet for that aspect of life. For example, when we say significator, that means remains fixed, irrespective of ascendant, irrespective of the lordship. The significator planets are fixed for all ascendants. Suppose, for example, Sun is the significator of status, Sun is the significator of father, and Jupiter is the significator of male child. So this Sun and Jupiter keep on signifying these things irrespective of the ascendant rising in the chart, or irrespective of the sign placed in the fifth house or second house. So both status and male child are ruled by the second house. Next comes the strength of the lord and significator in the divisional chart, ruling that particular aspect of life. Suppose we are dealing with the marital aspect. So marital aspect, which is the concerned division for marital aspect, it is Navamsa. And suppose we are dealing with professional matters, so concerned divisional chart is Dasamsa or D10. And for progeny analysis, we see the D7, the Saptamsa. So we see what ascendant rises in the divisional chart. If in divisional chart, the ascendant rising is a Multrikona sign, then the lord of that sign becomes additional prime determinant of that aspect. Suppose we are analyzing a Saptamsa for progeny matters. So in Saptamsa, suppose Sagittarius rises, or say, take for example, Virgo rises. So when Virgo is rising, so it is a Multrikona sign of Mercury. So Mercury will become additional prime determinant for progeny. Maybe that Sun is the lord of fifth house in the main chart, in the Rashi chart, with the Aries rising. Sun is the primary and prime determinant, and then Mercury will become the additional prime determinant of progeny matters. Then we see which sub period is operating in life in the chart. So we see the strength of sub period lord in the transit, and we analyze the triple transit influence at that particular time of analysis. So this is how this is a kind of flow chart, the steps we follow to finally deduce the conclusion that what would be the area of concern or future of that aspect currently. Because when we apply the transit, we come to know how is that matter is manifesting currently in the chart. A thumb rule is that strong planets give very good results in life. When planets are natally strong, seldom difficulties faced in that area. Only difficulties are very short-lived for the matter of transit also. Transit only. Then the weak planets will bring difficulties due to delay, and the results would be of slightly lower order. Weak planets, when well placed, they behave okay when they are at least 50% strong. So they give moderate results. But the results are of lower order, but slightly delayed. And when planets are badly placed as well, weak on multiple accounts and afflicted, they cause setbacks in life, inordinate delays, or very strong violent significations. When the planet is severely afflicted, it curtails or even denies the happiness. Suppose seventh lord is Libra, seventh lord is Venus, seventh house contains Libra sign, so seventh lord becomes Venus. Venus is in the sixth house for placed in Virgo in an Aries rising chart. So Venus is debilitated. Say for example, it is combust as well, or weak by degrees as well, say of 2 degrees. So it becomes weak on multiple accounts. It is connected with the house of disputes, sixth house. So it can cause severe medical discord like divorce, or it may inordinately delay the marriage, give strong health problems, severe health problems to wife. So this is how the various shades of results manifest in life. Let's see a chart. This chart is Virgo rising, and the most effective point is 28 degrees. Here, if you see what are the functional malefic. Functional malefic planets are Saturn, Mars, Sun, Rahu, and Ketu. So 5 planets are functional malefics. Here you see the most malefic planet is the 8th house lord. 8th house lord is Mars, which is most malefic and is placed in its own house, which is a good thing. It is strong, but the bad thing is that it is close to the ascending degree, the most effective point. So it is aspecting 11th house, 4th aspect, 7th aspect is 2nd house, and 8th aspect is 3rd house. So it is spoiling the significations of all these houses: 11th house, 2nd house, and 3rd house. Then comes a second malefic, functional malefic is Sun, which is the 12th house lord. Now Sun is in the 9th house, and it is afflicting 9th house and 3rd house as well. Then third malefic is Saturn, which is the 6th house lord. Now 6th house rules health problems, financial solvency, diseases. It is placed in the 12th house, which shows hospitalization, and it is in close conjunction of the Rahu. So that is also a very severe issue, that when one malefic is placed in the another malefic house and then it is afflicted by nodes, so it causes, it falls in the category of severely afflicted planets. And here 3rd house is also severely affected because it is receiving bad impact of 2 malefics simultaneously. That is Sun and Mars both impact the 3rd house. And 3rd house analysis is very important in a child's horoscope, as it shows and its strength rules the pace of growth, steadiness of in the growth and achieving of milestones in the life of the native. So in this case, the boy was born with cerebral palsy and of left leg. So left leg was afflicted right at the birth. At birth, the child was born in the sub period of 6th house lord, which is Saturn. So Saturn, as I already discussed, it is placed in house of hospitalization, 12th house, house of losses, and it is closely afflicted by the nodes. Then the FMP Sun affliction we discussed, it is also afflicting the house, 9th house, which rules thighs, and the close aspect of Sun and Mars on the third house, which we discussed, retards the growth. So the afflictions were strong and severe in this chart. So results were also very negative. Let's see another chart. Now in this chart, Taurus rises in the ascendant. So how do we go about analyzing the chart? First, we see which are the functional malefics. In addition to Rahu and Ketu, functional malefic planets are 6th Lord Venus, 8th Lord Jupiter, and 12th Lord Mars. Here, 8th Lord is the most malefic planet, which is Jupiter. It is not causing any affliction in the close affliction in the chart, as no planet is under its aspect and it is away from the MA. But planet Venus and Mars are causing affliction. Venus is placed in the ascendant along with Mercury and Sun. Mercury is in exact deep combustion. It is very weak, and it is in the exact Mercury, Venus and Sun are in exact conjunction, less than half a degree difference. So Mercury is 2305, Venus is 2314, and Sun is 2334. So this is a very deadly conjunction, which is causing strong afflictions to Sun, which is 4th house Lord, Mercury, which is 5th house Lord. Then comes all these planets, the closely conjunct configuration is receiving the malefic impact of Rahu from 9th house. That is also quite close. It is 40% affliction, that around 40-45%. The 26 degree 36 minute Rahu is afflicting them. Then 12th Lord Mars is weak. When functional malefic is weak, it is not able to protect its own house as well. So it is not protecting the health. Mars is weak due to debilitation, and it is also closely afflicted by Ketu and Rahu. So it is under the nodal axis affliction. The lucky thing is that Moon is saved. Moon is saved by, as Moon is strong, though it is at around 3 degrees difference, but it is strong. So the orb of affliction for Moon is just 2 degrees and it is away. So touch wood, that is a safeguard for this child. So here, how do we now interpret the afflictions? We have identified the afflictions and strengths. Now we interpret them. Like Venus is prime determinant of health because it is 6th house Lord, and ascendant does not contain a Mool Trikona sign. So it is closely afflicted by Rahu, and it is afflicting Sun and Mercury. Sun is also a significator for health, and Mercury is also a significator for health and digestion. Then this child was born after 7 months of pregnancy and developed jaundice after a few days of birth. Like you see, the transit right at birth is same as the natal chart. And when planets are slow moving or fast moving, are moving hand in hand or in close conjunction, like Mars was coming closer to Ketu, so it would take around 10, 12, 13 days to cross 5 degree range to the next sign. And Sun and Mercury are also close to Venus, so few days they will be under affliction. So that is how we study the dynamics of when a child is born, how the planets are moving, what is the speed of planets right at birth, then how they move about. Sometimes they are separating very fast. So the problems are very short-lived, just 1 or 2 days, and then they disappear. Here, problems lasted for a few days. So a chart was, parents consulted and asked for remedial suggestions, which they performed immediately. And the child started coming out of that and progressed well with the help of propitiatory peacemaking remedies. And later, he also uses a special power kavach to reduce the problems and provide support to Sun, Mercury, Saturn. Next chart. Let's see other aspects. Then we move to the timing of birth of the child. Here in this book, this topic is discussed in great detail. For that, thing we have to see what are the determinant planets for progeny. Here, timing of birth of the child is done with the parents horoscope, and in parents horoscope we have to see which planets are the prime determinants of progenic matters and what is their strength. So we move about like generally thumb rule is that lord of fifth house or a second house, and if both contain Mool Trikona sign, both lords, fifth and second house lords, are prime determinants for progeny matters. Aquarius ascendant is such in which there is none of these houses contain a prime Mool Trikona sign. So Jupiter and the Sun becomes prime determinant planets for Aquarians, for progeny matters. And both these planets, Sun and Jupiter, are significator for progeny as well, especially the male child. Strength of Jupiter and Sun supports the timing of birth of child. When they are strong, well placed, the progeny matters does not cause much problem, and there is timely progeny. Then additional prime determinant is the lord of ascendant of Saptamsa. We discussed in the first slide or second slide that ascendant, when Mool Trikona rises in the ascendant of Saptamsa, we take the lord of that house as the additional prime determinant. Then its position is seen in the main chart also, and its strength is seen in the divisional chart also. So these planets, fifth lord and second lord, and these houses are also, we have to account for the strength of houses as well, whether malefic planets are placed there or functional benefics are placed there, or functional malefics are afflicting the fifth or second house from bad houses or from Kendra. So what are the nature of aspects to these houses? They also determine the timing. It's discussed in great detail with many examples in the book. Then another important different technique in systems approach is happiness from the male child. Happiness from the male child is seen from the 10th house, because 10th house is the house of karma, the deeds of parents. They are blessed when their deeds are good, they are virtuous, they are blessed with a very good virtuous progeny. But if they are not on the right path, or they are cheating, or their conduct is not up to the mark, then the happiness from male child is also not there. Then they suffer on account of their children's health and other issues. So this is very important thing. It is not that they will not be blessed with a child. They will be blessed with a child, but they will suffer on account of that progeny. Now, which chart of parents or chart of child? The matters pertaining to the child are analyzed to 5th and 2nd and 10th house of their lords of the parents horoscope. That is what we discussed in the previous slide, that parents horoscope is seen for the timing and happiness from the life of their child by 5th, 2nd and 10th house. These factors are analyzed in parents chart. When there is a delay, like these planets are weak or badly placed, and weak and badly placed or afflicted, what kind of delay is there? It's inordinate, or it's a small delay, or if the problems are such that repeated abortions are there, or the nature of problem depends on the level of afflictions and level of weakness. But when we want to see the study of or field of success for the child, then we do not go to the parents horoscope, we go to the child's horoscope. There we have, so it means that we have to be well versed in predictive techniques, analytical techniques, for which is applicable to all charts as a whole. So we will discuss some more things, some more issues, and some more contents of the book in next video. Till then, goodbye. Thank you.